Hello, everyone. I'm excited that we are having this session. It will give us an opportunity for you to learn some of these learning outcomes outside of the classroom. Um, I expect that you will carry out certain exercises, and when we come back to live session, we'll be able to engage properly, and it will actually enhance our learning. It will enhance our learning. All right, let me just quickly share my screen so that you see what we are talking about, or the subject we are taking on. All right, let me just go right now. Yes, I believe my screen is obvious to you. You can see my shared screen. All right. We are actually looking at unveiling your entrepreneurial identity, talking about the big personalities and you. Don't worry, relax. You see how we're going to relate this into how it plays out in business, especially when we talk about entrepreneurship. When we talk about entrepreneurship. All right. So three of the learning outcomes you are going to get from this session is one, to be able to analyze the connection between what the big traits are and entrepreneurial success. Second learning outcome will be to apply self-assessment tools to understand your own personality, strengths, and or weaknesses. And third learning outcome will be to engage in critical reflection about personality's role in entrepreneurship. Now, maybe you have you ever wondered if you have a personality to be an entrepreneur, Recall, just bear in mind all these three learning outcomes in terms of analyzing, applying, and also engaging. So when you have that at the back of your mind, we'll move on. Now, when we say we want to understand what the big five is, we put it like an acronym name and we call it OCEAN. OCEAN. And O stands for openness and experience. C stands for conscientiousness. E stands for extraversion. A stands for agreeableness. N stands for neuroticism. And if you look at each of them are further broken down. I'll just pick one as an example because these are personality traits. And somehow, when you take that assessment in the course of the day before you come to the live session, you find yourself in one or two of these traits. For instance, let me just pick on the openness to experience. It talks about somebody that have the trait of that imaginative person. That's why we have the imagination there. Somebody who is curious in nature. Have you ever seen someone within a team or within the place you are working or among your friends? Somebody could be curious, somebody enjoy the enjoyment of abstract thinking and ideas and attunement towards personal emotions. So if you look at C, E, A, and N, talking about conscientiousness, extraversion, agreeableness, and also neuroticism, those are some of the traits that you will be seeing there. Now, before we move ahead, because sometimes learners might want to say, why should I have to go through all this stress? It's good that we point out some of the benefits, and we are also going to be looking at some of the challenges. Because when you have these traits, then you can tell more about your personality and what you can leverage on based on those personality. For instance, some benefits of of an entrepreneur, for instance, is to be your own boss. You can turn your passion into work. There's an unlimited potential because here you have the freedom to do what you can do. You are not regulated by policies. If you are working within an organization, then you can make a difference because it's all about your passion, what you are pursuing, and the way you want it done. You have it done exactly the way you have imagined it. So you have the opportunity to make a difference. Then there's also personal growth because you always stretch yourself to the point where you you become an embodiment of the value that you have and the passion that you have towards that area of business. And at the end of the day, it comes back to you, and you're able to experience that personal growth. But some of the challenges, of course, because in life, um, there's always going to be the pros and the cons side of anything that we do or anything that we are involved in. In this particular case, the challenges can be due to financial instability. It's not like somebody working in as an employee. You know that the kind of salary you are collecting, whatever happened every particular day of the month, your salary must hit your account. And you'll be hearing is the payday. But for an entrepreneur, there is a possibility of financial instability. Sometimes you hit it big. Sometimes it's quiet. It's quiet, and you might not be able to. You might not have opportunity to transact with business, but some other time it comes. So it's inconsistent. That's why we say financial instability. Then long hours and hard work, because you always want to get to the root of the whole thing, wanting to get the job done before you can be satisfied. Then there's also high risk and uncertainty. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes the business you're able to close, sometimes the business you are not able to close. Sometimes it takes a long time before you're eventually able to close even some of them. And as a result, there's a possibility that as an entrepreneur, you can be stressed out and there's a pressure on it. And sometimes you can feel a bit of loneliness and isolation. Now, after talking about that, one thing I want you to do is there are samples of successful entrepreneur that is being displayed right now. Oprah Winfrey, Sarah Blackley, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Richard Branson. Out of this, 5 successful entrepreneur, I want you to study any two. Study any two. And after you study any two, the one that resonates most with you, just pick one out of the two you've studied and note those traits that resonate most with you. Note them down somewhere. When you come for the live session, then it gives an opportunity to share your own experience and your own discovery from the research that you have carried out. It's all boiling down to us identifying with the traits of the personality traits and see how this connects with entrepreneurship, because sometimes there are traits that will not enhance the role of an entrepreneur when it comes to business. So people need to understand their uniqueness and need to understand whether they are the one that will be at the forefront of the business, or they will need to get somebody employed alongside that can also work with them, who might have the required traits that will ensure that entrepreneurship becomes a success at the end of the day. Now, at the end also, there will be a reflection. And how might your dominant trait benefit or hinder your entrepreneurial aspirations? Because it's key to remember we are looking at the connection between the big 5 personality and your entrepreneurial tendency. Now, you're going to take a free online 5 personality test using the link below. Now, the link is there, and I will also attach it to the video when you will be looking at this. Then after taking the personality test, I want you to analyze your results and identify your dominant traits. You will find instructions on how to go about the assessment on the page after you open the link, actually. So it's straightforward. It's not a big deal. And just go ahead and get that done. Then after that is done, you consider how these traits might influence your entrepreneurial journey based on the explanation given by the big 5 personality traits. Now, you write your thoughts. As you're doing it, I need you to have your writing materials. Make sure you jot your thoughts down and be prepared to share them in groups. Because when we come to the live session, we're going to pair ourselves in groups, and it will help with the conversation, because that is what the live session will be all about. So you could see the big 5 inventory assessment link down there, which you will be required. And I'll also send it alongside beside the video when you are looking at it. So to bring this back again, and this to let you know that this is what you have to pay attention to. By the time you are done, it's either you have the number 1 dominant one that you have. It could be the O, it could be the C, it could be the E, it could be the A, it could be the N. Sometimes you can have a tie. But however it is, jot those things down. And anywhere you need clarification, please be prepared. Like that's why I said, be prepared to share your thoughts on the following in our next live session. Do the personality traits guarantee entrepreneurial success? And sorry, I said, do personality traits guarantee entrepreneurial success? Now, before these questions, when you note these things down, be ready to come share. 1, 2, anyone you need clarity on, also note those questions down. It also will help in asking questions, then it will help in the engagement, and we'll see how it goes. Now, I now said in the live session here, you do personality traits guarantee entrepreneurial success? These are questions that you need to answer before coming to the live session. What other factors are important based on the result that you have gotten? And then how can we leverage our strengths and address the weaknesses? Now, these are assignments that I want you to carry out. At least you will have about a week before the live session, which I believe is enough, more than enough, for you to get around this and come prepared for the class. Now, the takeaway is to take assessment, take notes, answer the question asked in the slide 9 that I just showed, and make sure you carry out the reflection stated in slide 8. Then prepare your questions for clarification where you are unsure. Lastly, personality is just one piece of the puzzle, and individual differences actually matter, which we will expand on by the time you come. And remember, we have the resources stated there. Make sure you read on the following resources, especially under entrepreneurial mindset session, to encourage engagement and learning in the live session. So I look forward in an excited way to seeing you in the class for the live session. And I can't just wait because it's going to be an engaging one. Thank you very much, and make sure you do it before you go.